Hello, everyone. Welcome to the OPT webinar. My name is Monica Lomax, and I will be your host for this webinar on today. I am the CPT OPT coordinator at Avila University, and I can be reached at intl@avila.edu. Today, we're going to go over graduation, commencement, the program end date, immigration issues when it comes to the end of your program, definitions of optional practical training, types of OPT available to students, eligibility, warnings, the roadmap, DHS advisement, approvals, denials, filing the I-765 form, and communication. I know it seems like a lot. Make sure you have some water, it's a little snack to get through this. All right, first, graduation and commencement, they are two different things. So, graduation is the completion of all your degree requirements. That is when you have reached your last course, you have no more courses left to take. Commencement is a ceremony that signifies the completion of your degree requirements. So, you will graduate, but you don't have to attend commencement. All right. Regardless of whether you're attending commencement or not, you still have to submit your graduation application and pay the $175 fee. This fee covers all administrative costs as well as the cost for the commencement ceremony itself. And if you need help reaching your grad app, you go log into your MyAU portal, you go to the academic tab, and on the right hand side, you'll see student graduation application. It'll be further down to the bottom. All right, optional practical training roadmap. Getting OPT is fairly simple. You request the OPT. I recommend OPT. You file the I-765. It's adjudicated. You get approved. Um, you get your EAD card and you start work and you report to me. And then you report address changes and things like that. And you check in with me every 90 days. It's a fairly simple process. However, it does take some time. Now, the overview. The first thing that needs to be on your I-20 is you must be nearing that program end date within 90 days of that program end date, right? So, in terms of your graduation date will be listed as your program end date, right? So, you have 60 days to return to your home country, transfer, or begin the OPT process. For everybody who is listening to this, I am guessing that you're going to be somewhere in the OPT process and not be beginning it, but you can be beginning it from this level. All right. So, optional practical training for F1 students. It's a temporary employment benefit that F1 students get after they complete their academic studies, right? OPT is set up so that you get employment, you get more experience in the field that you are specializing in or the field that you get your degree in, so that when you go back home, you can take all of that knowledge plus the actual um, employment. You can um, use that to take it with you, so you have experience alongside that and alongside that education. So you have the education and the experience, right? There are different types of OPT that are offered. There is post completion and pre completion. Pre completion is OPT benefit that you get before you graduate, but at Avila we don't authorize pre completion. So all we have available to our students is the post completion OPT and that STEM extension. All right, so to be eligible for OPT, you will have completed a full-time academic program. Fairly simple. You do not get OPT if you're studying English as a second language, and you have to work in a field that aligns with your major area of study. All right. Now, the STEM extension requirement is you're in a STEM field and you're within 90 days of completing your first round of OPT, so that first 12 months. And to be eligible for the gap extension, you have to be you will have had to filed for the H-1B, and that's authorized so that you are in legal status while you wait on the result of your H-1B application. All right, and filing timelines. You can file as early as 90 days before your program end date and as late as 60 days after your program end date. And a couple OPT warnings. All data must match what is in your SEVIS file, and it's important that all students stay on top of immigration rules concerning OPT as well as the STEM extension. Now, it is a part of my job to stay on top of the regulations and things of that nature, but with things changing rapidly, there is an opportunity for me to miss some things. All right. Avila University follows DHS guidance for OPT requests, timelines, and deadlines, right? And here are the steps straight off of the Study in the States DHS website. The first step is to follow the school processes to submit the OPT request to the DSO. So our processes are watch the webinar, get through the webinar, submit the request. I confirm you're eligible. I give you that OPT I-20, you sign it, you send it back, you file that I-765 form. USCIS begins adjudicating, and then if you're approved, you receive the EAD card and you begin work when the authorized date comes, right? And then from there, I have 21 days to update your SEVIS file with any updated addresses or anything like that. So, what happens after approval? You'll get that EAD card. What happens after denial? You will receive a reason, a list of all of the reasons you've been denied. Um, in this case, you're going to want to submit the copy of your denial to me so that I can see if this is something that we can ask USCIS to revisit or to see if this is something that you can apply. You can just reapply, right? So one good reason why USCIS might revisit would be if the end date that they have in their system doesn't match what is listed on their I-20. When that happens, that can be fixed and USCIS can revisit that. Instance where you would reapply is if I gave you the OPT endorsed I-20 and you waited until that 31st day to apply. Then in that case, you would have to reapply and pay the fee again. But that's not everyone's case. All right, and now we have an I-765 walkthrough. Warnings. Take your time when you're filling this form out. Do not rush it, right? You can get in a lot of trouble by putting in incorrect information into this form. So you want to make sure that you are taking your time and you are really making sure that you're putting every field in correctly. And you start at USCIS. Log into the website, or not log in, go to the USCIS website, choose file a form online. When you choose file a form online, you're going to choose the I-765 and you're going to choose your eligibility category. Everybody's eligibility category at this point is student post-completion OPT. All right, and then from there, you're going to get quite a few warnings. And then you have the option to start your form. When you choose start form, you do get more warnings, what to do after you finish the form, the fees that are associated with it. They'll tell you about the documents that you need, and they'll also bring up the fact that you might be requested to come and visit a USCIS office to have a biometric screening appointment, right? And that is where they ask you questions just to verify you are who you are and verify all of your information. Right, and then then tells you what to do after you submit your application. And it gives you the benefits on completing your file online, your form online. And then, of course, you have the DHS privacy notice, the Paperwork Reduction Act, and in the corner, you have a security reminder that says that if you do not work on your application for more than 30 days, we will delete your data in order to prevent storing personal information indefinitely. All right. So once you get past all of those things, you are at the actual application. And it's fairly simple. the getting started section. That is your basis of eligibility, your reason for applying, and you have the opportunity to list a preparer or an interpreter if that is what you chose to, if you have somebody else filling the form out for you. Everybody's eligibility category is going to be the same. Initial post completion OPT. You have after you finish filing that or finish choosing that, they'll ask if you want premium processing. Choose yes or no. And then you go through the questions. Reason for applying. Have you previously filed the I-765? Is someone helping you with this form? What is your current legal name? Do you have any other names? How do we get in touch with you? You want to make sure that you have you put a phone number in there that you can be reached at all given times. Same with the mobile number. And for your email address field, do not use your avila.edu email address. All right, and then you put in your mailing address. You're going to want to use the recommended address. And then also, if your current address is not the same as your physical address, you want to choose no and put in your physical address. Excuse me. You would do this in the event that you receive mail elsewhere. All right, and then we have more questions. Gender, marital status, city, town, village of birth, state or province of birth, country of birth, date of birth, country of citizenship, and what is your I-94 arrival departure record number. All students have this. Right. When did you last arrive in the United States? Passport number, travel document number, all of those things you enter that. There's even a section for your CVIS ID number. You're going to enter that. What is your A number? Not all students have an A number, and it's okay if you choose I do not know my A number. USCIS account number. If you created a USCIS account just to fill out this form, you do not yet have this number. It's okay to choose that you do not have this number. Do you have a Social Security card, or do you need a Social Security card? And then from there, we go to the point where we're updating or uploading things. So a 2x2 photo of you, passport style photo, your I-94, your employment authorization document or government ID. If you have never been authorized OPT, you won't have this. If you do not have a state issued ID or a driver's license, put in your passport. Previously authorized CPT or OPT. If you do not have this, do not upload it. All right. Then from there, you check your application. And you have two options from there. You can either go through it, look and make sure, comb through your information, make sure you didn't put anything extra on there or anything wrong in there. And then you can choose view draft snapshot, and we can go over it together. Or you can go ahead and move to the next process, which is payment. All right. So if you're ready to move on, you want to go through all of your statements, all the attestations, all of those things. After you get done with this page, you will be ready to submit payment. And then after you've submitted payment, you're done, right? You have completed the process. All that's left to do is to wait for the adjudication. All right, now communication. Communication is important for all students. You want to make sure that you're keeping me up to date if you get an RFE, if you get an approval, if you get a denial, if you're having issues receiving your EAD card, if you are employed, if you're not employed, if you're reaching your unemployment days and you don't know what to do. It's important to keep in touch with me during all of these things and all the steps of the way, because if I don't know what is going on, I cannot help you with it. Um, I cannot help you at all, right? And so at this point, you are fully equipped to begin that OPT process. So the first step again is to submit the OPT recommended I-20 request. And here is the QR code to get to that. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.